Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. I wonder if I'm earlier than you all while I'm 2 minutes late. Okay, let's see. There it is. Now we're all set up. See who's bright eye and bushy tail. Prince is here. Hi, hello dear, how are you doing, my Padawan? The force is strong with you. Good, good. You woke up. You have your coffee or tea? So there are 2 thumbs up, but there's only Prince on the screen. Let's see who's the next one who's been early. Oh, 4, okay. Now let's see who they are. Say hello, guys, and let me know where you're tuning in from. There's Janet from UK. Hello, Janet. How are you? Hope all is good. Yeah. Well, you must be pretty brave to drink cocoa and hot water and almond milk without any honey or sugar, right? But I'm tasting the sugar in it somehow, somewhere, in my illusions. Hello, James. Yeah. The force is strong with all of us. You know, one of these days we should do a little bit of a meditation to share with you the real power of the force. And I'm sure you have all, hello Ritik, good to see you. I'm sure you have all checked, and if you haven't checked, go on my on YouTube channel or on my site. If you go on my site, you go on the seminars. That's a seminar I did about the end of fear at one of the local universities. There's a 10-minute free video of that seminar. It's a 1-hour seminar, and in it I have shown the power of the force. And on YouTube you will be able to go and search for, on my channel, and then search for I think it's called The End of Fear, or it's called a short sample or something for a seminar at some university, or is it called The Willpower? I'm not sure, but you'll see somebody's trying to bend my arm, or somebody's trying to lift me up, or something like that. That would be a good indication for you to kind of enjoy and see a little bit deeper into the force that we are all seem to be interested in. So who else is here while we're getting settled and ready for our discussion today? Just send me a hello and where you are saying hello, and then we'll start. In the meantime, within the next couple of minutes, if you have a question, throw it in and we'll deal with it. I have started to take small pieces of our questions and talks and trim them from the videos, and they'll be uploaded every day. So for the ones who are looking for a specific answer to a specific question, they can see and find those instead of having to go through the whole hour of the talks. This will save you some time, and will also help me to direct a certain answers to a specific question for ease of research on that. Yvonne from Orange County, California. Hello, dear. So I guess we will have lots of oranges today since you're from Orange County. We have an in with the field, and that's called infield. I think I'm in a goofy mood today, so so I wonder how the questions will be answered. Prince, can we start this talk through this question? What are the limitations of open-mindedness? It can help innovate and change minds, but it can also cause destruction. Well, depends on what channel of open-mindedness, what angle of open-mindedness you mean. If it's talking about open-mindedness about anything goes, well, I don't believe anything goes because this is the world that we are living in. That's where anything goes. No discipline of any kind. There has to be conscious-minded people who would not need to be controlled, but they would initiate a certain principles for the good of humanity and have a principle of non-aggression, behavior of not forcing, manipulating, cheating, or bringing harm to other people. If that would be the core of function of every human being, then we don't need really laws. But until then, we want to make sure that we understand what open-mindedness mean. If you're talking about open-mindedness about, I don't know, sexual behavior, again, to each his own, as long as it doesn't try to force its own specific preferences on the rest of the society. So it should be a free society, but yet with limitation respects to children and other ways to make everybody comfortable. Now, so I need to know what angle of open-mindedness you're talking about. If it's about being open-minded in technology, well, technology is great. Everybody should be open-minded. So I need a little bit tweaking on that question. Janet has kindly found it for us on YouTube. It's called Power of Mind. 5 minutes of the seminar which was held at Capilano University. Correct. There is a 5-minute one, and there's also a 10-minute one on my own site when you go to take a look at the sample of that video, that seminar. But I think it's also on YouTube. There's a 10-minute one also. Thank you, Janet. So, Prince says, open-mindedness, like how you say thoughts are made of. Some thoughts can help improve society, but some thoughts can be harmful to us. Well, again, that harmful, it's relative. Sometimes I might feel if you're not wearing suit and tie, it's not appropriate to the society, but it's not harmful. But I may think it is, but doesn't mean just because I think it's harmful, it's harmful. Or somebody may think that they want to, I don't know, wear a different attire. And to them, that's not harm. Somebody wants to decorate him or herself in a certain way, and some other people may be offended, some may not. But that doesn't mean the ones who are offended really have a point. Or maybe if it's too far-fetched, well, it's setting a certain kind of a representations that may not be suitable, let's say, for children to see it, or because they don't have a proper judgment yet. So these are all, again, hard to pinpoint. But you say some thoughts can be improving a society. But what is a society, Prince? Some thoughts can improve the society. What is that society? Who made that society? We made the society. We are the society. I am the society. You can't say if we want to fix the society, we got to fix the society so we'll be fine. But since the society is made by every one of us, by me, by you, therefore, to fix a society, you got to fix yourself. We got to fix ourselves. There's a thought, the consciousness has to be understood. So the society that is being built based on these thoughts would be a better society, right? So unless we understand that we are the one who makes the society, but we say, oh, it's the society that has the environment, the society that's conditioned me, but I created the society. So we got to go and try to make sure that we twig and clear our consciousness, make our consciousness aware of how it's been put together, how it reacts, and so on and so forth, that we've talked about in other videos and other talks. And on that basis, then the society will naturally be a good one, a different one. Hayward, California, Jamie, hello dear. So, some thoughts that may seem harmful here, if it's based on, which we know thoughts come from consciousness, if it's based on the traditions and the religions and the upbringing and what we've exposed on in a certain society, a certain community, it may seem good or bad, but in another community or somewhere else in the world, it may be opposite of it. Aisha Patel says, sometimes hard-working people, when they take rest, they feel overthinking. Mind goes to past and live in some particular moment. But it's just an illusion. It's kind of psychological issue. How to overcome? Are you asking me, Aisha, how to overcome not to daydream, not to overthink? There are a bunch of questions here, but I try to say something about one angle of it, and then you can twig it, and then we can continue. Thank you, Prince, but I have better things to do. So getting back to Aisha, when you think you're overthinking, sometimes it's just overthinking. But sometimes it's called transient thoughts. There are thoughts that really have no basis to worry you, but it shows up in your mind. And you wonder, what are these thoughts? Why is it here? What does it mean? Does it mean that I wanted it to be here? Does it mean that I'm interested in that thought? Does it mean that I initiated that thought? Then how else did it get into my screen? You know, what you see, the screen. But if you go on my site, one of my books called Transient Thoughts and Me, that explains quite a bit. And there's a sample chapter there that you can see if that pertains to your question or not. But the table of contents is there and can be helpful. But the transient thoughts, you know, every one of us is like a radio receiver. Our mind is like a radio receiver. And when you go through the dial of the radio, as you move it, there are different receptions, you receive signals and programs from different stations around the world. Now, does that mean that your radio produced that program that you happen to be hearing it by having changed the dial to a certain number? It's not your radio. Your radio is just receiving a program that has been initiated from some station somewhere in the world. Has nothing to do with you actually having produced it. But you are able to hear it. And if you change the dial, you will hear a different program. Same with TV. If you change the dial, you see different pictures and different programs from different parts of the world, especially nowadays that you can just have access to all kinds of thousands of different channels around the world. But as you find these channels on the screen of your TV, does that mean you produce that program, that picture? You produce that debate? You produce that story, that movie? No. You're just a receiver. Your television, your radio is just a receiver. It's not responsible for what comes to it. It's only receiving, has the capability of receiving it. It doesn't mean that you approve of that program. It doesn't mean that you agree with it. It doesn't mean that you enjoy it. It doesn't mean you wanted it to be there. You just happen to have an apparatus that receives and is capable on translating and receiving and putting it on a screen or making you hear it. Same thing with our mind. We have this ability to receive all kinds of thoughts, pictures and thoughts that somehow directly or indirectly you have been exposed to it. You read it in the news, turns into a picture. You heard it on the radio. You saw it in a movie. You saw it from in the grave, in the grapevines, through the grapevines, or through some story, whatever it was. All these thoughts is available in the collective consciousness of the universe, and you have a receiver, and these thoughts may appear in one way or another on your receiver, but that doesn't mean you're part of it or you enjoy it or you chose it or it represents you. Could be there. So overthinking sometimes is just transient thoughts that shows up, you pay no attention to it. And when you overthink, it's because simply our mind is designed to look for trouble, because it's our safety net, it's our security system. And the security system is designed, programmed to look for trouble in order to diffuse it, to avoid it. That's why our mind during the day constantly goes through all kinds of things that will never happen. But we try to think of it, conjure it up, and then find remedy for it, and try to diffuse it before it has even happened. That is pretty much what we do with our lives, and create fear. And that's how fear creates, when you compare something that it was with what it is, and if it will be the same or it will be changed differently. Let's say I was hungry last night. I don't know if I'm hungry. I don't know if I'll be hungry this afternoon. I hope I'll have food for tomorrow. So you created a fear out of something that you're comparing it with the past or what it will be in the future. But none of them really has happened. It's only your mind that looks for trouble and tries to foresee possibilities and try to diffuse things before it happens. It's just your mechanism. So thinking over on things, it doesn't mean you should be alarmed with it, because it's just that. You're just creating trouble because that's the job of your mind. Try to see, can I find the trouble? Can I find something hazardous? Let me clean everything to make everything good for him or her. So when you compare things with how it was Will it be still the same? Or what will it be tomorrow? You're creating comparison of how things were, it will be, or it is, and then you create a little bit of fear in yourself. Otherwise, there is no fear. Fear doesn't exist. We're not talking about saving yourself from wild animals or a truck hitting you or you got to jump away. These are instinctive things that saves you from these hazards. But we're talking about how our mind actually creates fear out of nothing by worrying about, which that comes by comparing things. How it was, I had food yesterday, will I have food this afternoon? Will it be the same tomorrow? What will I had the job and good money? Will I still have it today? Or will I have it tomorrow? I have it today, will I have it tomorrow? All these comparisons creates that fear. Very basically said, but elaborately I've explained it in one of the videos about fear. So you can go to the YouTube channel and check it out. So I hope that will be something for you to think about, Aisha. I don't know if I've answered your question completely or not. Okay, now we have Brian. Hello from Cincinnati, dear. Parth. Hello, dear. Michael says, how change our thought exactly to have better mood? Well, if you hang your mood and happiness on things, then you'll always be in trouble, wouldn't you? Because things that you don't have control on will not let you rest in peace and be happy and enjoy your day, because you always wonder, what will I ever get this? Will I ever accomplish this? And you worry about things, and you connect your happiness based on achieving those things, gathering those things, and that's where the trouble starts. You got to connect your happiness to things that are small, easy, and continuous, and basics of life. In that way, you will have a better chance to be happy all the time, because the reasons for happiness should not be attaining a certain material things, which has its own hooplas and hurdles to get it, and they may happen, it may not happen, and your happiness is hanging in the balance based on if I get that, which is really you're following your desire. And if you hang your happiness based on your desire, which wants things, it's a never ending, and you'll always be chasing happiness. Base your happiness on basic things in life, like you open your eyes in the morning, that's a reason to be happy. I can open my eyes. I'm alive. Simple. I breathe. I'm happy. I have a little cocoa hot water and almond milk. I'm happy. If you focus, I have a little bit something to eat and I have a place to sleep. It's safe and I'm happy. If you focus and base your happiness on small and simple things, basics of life, you will always be happy, and then you strive to get and attain whatever it is that you wish to attain. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a horse, you want to buy a car, you want to buy whatever it is that you want to get. You want to find the right girlfriend for yourself, whatever it is that you want to get. Go. Work on it. Try to achieve it. No problems. But do not let that what you want to arrive to or achieve to be the prerequisite to your happiness. Your happiness should be unconditional, independent from attaining and completing certain things. And then you will always be happy. And when you are happy, bigger chance that you will actually be successful in achieving and attaining what it is that you want to achieve. But if you say, I will be happy when I get it, so all through this journey to get it, you're miserable and unhappy. You're sad and unmotivated. Thoroughly. But if you're happy because your happiness is based on basics of life, a reality of your connection with the nature, a happiness and appreciation of the fantastic treasure and opportunity of being alive in this world, then you have such tremendous power and energy to climb any mountain and achieve any goal that you have. So that is why you want to make sure your happiness is independent from anything else that you want to achieve in life. Sleep, breathe, somewhere to sleep safely, something to eat, something to drink. That should be keeping yourself healthy, safe. That should be what gives you that fuel to go and now conquer whatever it is that you want to achieve. But you reverse it. I'll be happy when I achieve those things. Where are you going to get the fuel to go all that way? Could be a long way. Happiness is the fuel, is the power, is the energy, is the way to help you to deal and negotiate with the terrain that you're taking towards that destination that you're aiming for. Happiness should be a learned thing. You should be expert in how to be happy, because that is the treasure that you're looking for. Because you're trying to attain those things to be happy, right? Be happy, get that treasure first, then everything else seems inconsequential or secondary, or is not going to make you devastated if you get it or not. But you will do your best to get it because you're full of energy and hopes and ability. Increases your capability. I hope that answers some of your question. Now, Don Diego. Hello, dear. Hi from Malaysia. I saw your previous video on all one. I'm having trouble understanding it. Can you elaborate on it? Well, we were talking about alone. Somebody says that, I feel alone. And we're talking about the word alone, that the word alone doesn't mean lonely, because alone means you're focused internally to learn about yourself and your connection with the source, where you come from, with the nature. And in that there's tremendous power. Why? Because the word alone really in dictionary means all one. When you're one with the nature, you think you're alone, but you're actually one with the all, one with the whole nature. So alone really is a state where you are one with the existence of the universe, with the whole nature, which is a powerful state. If you really understand that you are a drop of the ocean, that when you're alone, you actually join the ocean, and you are now one with the ocean. So I am encased a bit of a life energy in my body, and I say my life, but in fact is part of the life of the great universe, great nature. So when I'm alone, that means I understand how to be one with the all. There's tremendous power in being alone, because alone doesn't mean being lonely. Alone means understanding your connection with the nature. Therefore, you are all one. You're one with the all. You're one with nature. That's a short explanation of it. I hope that will start you on the right track. There's a lot more. If you go on my video, and you will find, perhaps if I can find the discussion that we had on alone, I will have it as a separate short video, and then you can take a look at it. I've explained the relationship between us and the nature, and the relationship between a bit of a water that you bring out of the ocean, and you say my water, but in your eyes it's your water, but in the eyes of the great ocean is part of the great ocean water in your hand. And the same thing, we have encased some energy, some life in our body. You say my life, we think it's my life, separated than the whole life of the universe. But in our eyes is my life, but in the eyes of the great nature is part of the nature's life in my body. So I have to understand where the conflux and the connection is, where the interchange of this life energy is with. And when I understand that, then I can see that then I can be all the one. I can be one with the all, because my connection with the energy of the universe and nature is a natural thing. That's where I come from, and that's what I'm constantly having interchange and conflux in energy all through the day. There's an energy from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, and always passes through every one of us. And the way we can understand it and boost it out positively, it also helps other things to grow and develop around us and affect our community and people around us positively with a good energy. There are some people that pass you by and you feel uncomfortable because their energy is negative and they haven't understood how to use this conflux to bring fresh energy in themselves. They're always cooped up because they haven't learned how to increase this conflux and interchange. Just like the water that is in your hand, if you keep it outside of the ocean too long, it'll become spoiled. It's not fresh anymore. You got to let it back in the ocean so you can have conflux and interchange to be fresh all the time. People not knowing how to increase the conflux and interchange with the energy of the universe, they'll always be susceptible to sickness, and they get cold faster and sooner. They're sad, and they don't make the people around them also feel good, because they haven't learned that there's an energy that flows through them and how they can increase that interchange and conflux. And that is where meditation comes in the picture, which can help us and does the same thing as we do when we sleep. Automatically we get charged up in the morning and we feel great, and through the day we use that energy and then depletes, and toward the end of the afternoon we kind of feel like, oh, tired, because that energy passes. So if we learn, and then we sleep again and we're filled up again, like the battery of a toy gets charged up, works a lot, and then depletes, and then it doesn't work and it got to be charged again. So we can learn to do that while we're awake, constantly recharging it. So using this flow and conflux from the energy of the universe rather than the limited amount that we have encased in our body by having slept the night before, and now using it to finish and sleep again. So we can create a little bit more of a conflux and flow while we are doing our daily life and things. Okay. Pling Toy Mess. Hello dear, from Bangladesh. Do you believe in ghosts, he says, or are they just part of thought? How does the thought process work? I don't know. I don't know. I have some understanding a little bit, but the idea that this energy that we're made out of, that we are in contact with, this universal energy, the idea that that energy fills us up every time we sleep, and in the morning we use it, and through meditation we extend it and we bring more of it in and increase the conflux, and this whole wisdom that we learn through our life, and this connection of thoughts being connected to the collective consciousness of the universe, leads one to believe possibly that when we die, all this wisdom and all this energy doesn't die. Where can it go? It goes back to where all while I was alive was coming and going. This energy had a conflux with me all the time. When I would sleep, I would charge up. When I get up, I use it. Or when I meditate, it flows through me, and I increase the conflux and interchange. So this energy was constantly in motion and in interaction with me. And the wisdom the same. I learn things from the universe. I think about it, and all these thoughts can also be projected to other receivers around the world. So naturally, if my body doesn't hold that energy anymore, but that energy doesn't go poof, my body can't take that energy, but the energy is still alive. Like the battery of the toy, that every time I charge it so the toy worked, and then it finished, and then I replenished, then I charge it again, then it works, then it finishes and I charge it again. Eventually, one day, the battery doesn't take more charges. So the battery doesn't take more charges, but the charge is still available. So my body may not take that charge at a certain age, a certain time. But the charge itself is alive, is there, exists, always, forever. Where does it go? Outside the universe. It comes from the universe. Where does it go? When I exchange my energy with it, where does it go? It goes back to the universe. So when I die, I just can't take the charge anymore. My bottle, the battery thingy, doesn't hold charge anymore. But the charge itself is alive. So when I die, my energy, I believe, doesn't go where my body simply goes, to nothing. It just always been alive, and the energy will always be alive. So on that premise, maybe we can say, maybe, spirits in the way of energy, something to think about. I don't know enough about it. Or perhaps better not elude something that I don't have any exact explanation for it. Kashifa? Okay. All right, good. What else do we have? Questions. I guess all right. Looks like we're done then, right? Goodbye, everybody. Do we have anyone from North America with us? Other than, yeah, I guess we have a couple of people from Daval Sharma says, how to identify ourselves. No need, just say hello from where you are, that's all. Okay, Valid, hello there. Michael, how change your thoughts exactly to have better mood? Okay, we talked about that. So your mood should be on basic and necessities of life, so you can always have happy mood on those bases. Cincinnati was North America. All right, guys. We are looking for questions, and if there is none, then we can, let's see, how long have we spoken? We're almost towards the end of our day. We have another 15 minutes, so if there is any other question, we can discuss it together. And then we can all go about our days. It's a sunny day here in Vancouver, and it's nice and chilly, but it's sunny. I wonder if the weather is favorable for what you want to do today, wherever you are. So we have another 10-15 minutes, and if you have any other question, we can talk about it, and we can enjoy. And tomorrow we have another live talk on the amazing things in the world, which its post will be on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, the same page that you're just looking at it. Make sure you do check the videos on the YouTube channel. I have made sure that the answers for each question, I'm trying to put them all separately, so you can look for a list and see what question, and then the answer is there, instead of having to watch the whole 1 hour to find certain questions, because we have lots of chit chats in here, and I want to make that more efficient for that. So Kashifa says from Saudi Arabia, hello dear, how can we detach our previous thoughts because we connected to them very deeply? Well, if you go on my YouTube channel, it says how to delete memory, and that will help you to understand how you can actually cause the synaptic connections not to build those bridges where the thoughts can actually travel from the one end of the neuron to the other, and then create these thoughts to be memories, to be active. And it's an elaborate video. It's an interesting video. Go to on my YouTube channel and just in my own channel search for how to delete memory, and that will be something I think it would be properly explaining. Prince says, how much control does one have on your own life? How much of it is in control of external forces? Well, it's like saying, how much control do I have on the boat that I'm rowing in the ocean, and how much of it is dependent on the outside, on the ocean forces. The waves of the ocean you have no control on. The control that you're talking about should be perhaps looked at it this way. There is a video on my channel talks about how to be in control in your life. Watch that one. But in short, you cannot control the waves of the ocean. But you can become a good captain and make sure that the waves of the ocean will not capsize your boat. That's control. You cannot control the events of life. But if you can control the way that you can keep your balance in face of the events of life, that's control. There is no way for you to be able to control the weather or control the behavior of some other people or the danger, atrocities, or unfaithfulness or harms or whatever else that could be at works out there. Unfairness, misjudgments, and betrayals, all these things. But if you can understand your connection with the nature and ability to understand and observe things as they are, rather than making it to become something more than what it is by perceiving it and then creating fear for yourself and so on, then perhaps you have been able to keep your little boat from capsizing because of the weather in the ocean, and the waves of the ocean are not favorable. That's control. Otherwise, there is no way that you can control everything that is out there in order to create that oasis for yourself. You just got to become a good captain and keep your balance. When things happen, don't allow it to devastate you. Understand how to negotiate it, and understand there's always another day. There's always another weather. There's always another path they can change and move on and find sunshine and paved roads. Now, you're welcome, Kashifa. Okay, I think it is now for us to say goodbye. There is no more questions here, and we've had our 1 hour. It was wonderful to chat with you guys again. Remember, go on my Facebook page. You'll have a post for tomorrow's talk if you had the chance to join us. Tomorrow's talk is on amazing things in the world. There's about 4.2 million reach there, and we usually have anywhere from 10 to 20, 30,000 people participating, which few hundreds of them are active participants. So it depends on if you have the time to join us or not. To file, thank you, dear. Good to see you. So don't forget to go on my Facebook page and see the posts or see what's happening, and also check the YouTube channel and go to my site and read some of the complimentary sample chapters of the books and see how it grabs you. Pling to Miss says, thanks, Mehran. I love you. I love you too. You're welcome. Have a nice day, guys. Hope you have a wonderful week if I don't see you guys tomorrow. And we look forward to next week's chat. And be good to yourself and to the others. And talk to you soon. Bye for now.